ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
It is Wednesday, March 6th, and we are going to talk the live-action Avatar, The Last Airbender series, which today got renewed for Season 2 and Season 3.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
Season 2 comes out March 17th That's wrong. This is old. I was like, wait, Season 2 2026? That says 2006. This is the wrong Wikipedia.
Like it literally just got announced today, so I think it would be weird if they actually got dates for them.
That's why I got so excited. I was like, oh, I got breaking news. Wait,
yeah,
that's from 20 years ago.
Right.
Either way, at least we get all 3 seasons, which is awesome.
Right, exactly. But if you're here with us for the first time, thanks for tuning in. If you are one of our 10 loyal listeners, thanks for coming back. We're excited to have you back, and we're excited to talk.
Wait, we hit double digits? When did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It happened. But as always, we're going to start with our segments, and I will give it up to Joe for the horror corner.
So I have to have a disclaimer here.
Okay.
Because I am going to wildly contradict myself in this episode.
Okay.
I'm very aware of that. The irony is not lost on me. So before you all light me up, I get it.
Can I petition for Joe to have some kind of opening like
all right,
like just to intro?
Oh yeah, we got it. We do need a sounder for her.
There you go.
Right.
For
sure.
And that being said, we're dealing with 2 very different treatments of 2 very beloved properties in this episode.
Oh.
So yeah. That being said, let's discuss the avian-shaped elephant in the room, which is the first look at the Crow reboot, reimagining. Yep. I'm not calling it a remake. So I've gotten already some blowback on my strong opinions about this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say this. Go see this movie. And if you love it hard, love it strong. Don't expect me to love it. I cannot love it. That is not my Eric Draven. Nope. My Eric Draven is not a hooligan with shitty tattoos that drinks Samuel Adams.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Crow.
Yeah, no. And I'm actually hoping that I will eat my words, because I really do think that Skarsgård could do a very good Eric Draven. This is not it. This is not looking like it at fucking all. And I also will say that I now realize that this movie 100% is not made for me. And that's fine. I will sit in my corner with my dual DVD, Eric Draven Crow, Brendan Lee Crow, and yell fire it up. And yeah.
So, okay. So I had a lot of the same feelings that you did when I saw the picture of Bill Skarsgård. And like at first, the first reaction, I was just like, okay, it's, it kind of looks like the Crow, but they're going for an, and Brandon Lee's Eric Draven was like the lead singer of like an alt rock group, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if they're gonna play to like the music of the time right now, which
he's a mumble rapper and
maybe
right. A lot of auto tuning and
yeah, right. And so, but
Taylor Swift will make an appearance.
Yeah, right. So, and again, all we have is this still image, right? We have no other reference other than it is a remake of the original movie, right? Who knows if they're going to reference any of the graphic novel, like who knows where they're going to go with it. But again, for us, for people of our age, whenever they update anything, right? It is a little weird. Sometimes it's a little hard to swallow.
Yeah.
We're also getting, this has nothing to do with horror, but we're also getting the Roadhouse remake in like 3 weeks or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
this month.
Or this month. Okay, yeah, with
Mhm.
Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's a UFC fighter, right?
Yeah. Conor McGregor's in it.
And right, yeah, and so like, and again, like that alone is just, you know, like I said, just that storyboard alone is just like, it's weird, you know.
Mhm.
Like, don't call it a remake of Roadhouse. Call it, I don't know, you know, make it part of the Roadhouse cinematic universe,
Yeah, pretty much.
the RCU.
Like, so
Take it back. Take it back. You just put something into the universe. Take it back.
well, here's the thing. We've endured some pretty bad Crow sequels
Right? Yeah.
that were not this
They
hard
just,
to swallow. I'm like,
right. They got
like,
progressively worse as they went on. Right.
It was more of just like you had the same like heart, but just a shittier budget.
Right. Yeah. I know. Yeah. They painted up Carlos Perez to look exactly like Brandon Lee. Right. And it was hard to distinguish the two.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I actually, I kind of like The Crow too. Obviously not as much as The Crow, but I like that one. I didn't even see the other ones. Like, I didn't even see the Edward Furlong, David Boreanaz one.
It was fun.
Yeah, but so,
like, again, it was still, you know, in the same kind of vein,
right?
And that's why, like I said, this movie is obviously not for me.
Right.
They're gonna take The Crow and go in a different direction with it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Maybe just don't call it The Crow. And it has to be said, the girl who plays Sarah and the writer of the original comic both have thumbs down.
The photo, yeah.
Yeah, their opinions are not great.
Right. Yeah.
The girl who plays Sarah is a tour de force in Hollywood right now.
Hey,
legally
she's still alive
and
and was in the movie. So.
This is true.
Legally changed her name as the girl who played Sarah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the director of this new Crow is the one that had the affair with Kristen Stewart on set, and he's like in his 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, his IMDb is awash with 6 stars, shows and movies with greats as Snow White and the Huntsman, which is actually kind of fun.
Right.
Ghost in the Shell with ScarJo.
Okay.
He did direct an episode of Foundation, which
nice.
is fantastic, but one episode does not a director make.
Yeah.
1997, though, he directed 5: slam dunk parenthetical da funk. So maybe we'll get some of that.
Oh, Lord. So my final thought on this, and that will wrap up the horror corner, because Jesus. I will say I am impressed. They somehow managed to put both members of D. Edward, MGK, and Theo Vaughn into one person.
Yeah.
And that is the Crow. That is Skarsgård's the Crow, and I'm really upset about it.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe Houston's in it. Okay. The cast is weird. But...
That's yeah. Only, you know, obviously we can't say anything until we see the movie. And again, when this happens in Hollywood, like, you can't help but compare it to the original, right? Mm-hmm. And that we're going to be doing a lot of that tonight as well with The Last Airbender.
Hence my disclaimer.
Right, yeah. And at the same time, though, when you go in with expectations so low, sometimes these aren't as bad. To where you come out of it saying, you know, it's a 5, it's a 6, it's not terrible, right? Who knows where this is going to go. Again, with this, now that Nate's pulling up the director and actors and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
Who knows? Again, it doesn't seem like this guy's been swinging for the fences.
Yeah. Did you see that the lead writer is the writer of the original comic book and graphic novel? James O'Barr.
I did not. So
no, he's
He's a writer and actor known for The Crow and The Crow 2024 and The Crow Salvation
Well,
2000.
yeah, he wrote the Crow. Like he made the comic book,
Right, I know. That's
but
what I just said.
he's not involved with this movie.
He's the lead writer on this movie. That's what it says. The Crow
Then
2024, directed
why
by
did
Rupert
he
Sanders,
pan the movie that
writing
he
credits
wrote?
to James O'Barr. I don't know.
Well,
He
maybe
gets
they're
writing
giving
credits
him
on
writing.
it.
Maybe they're giving
Yeah.
him writing credits.
They're
just
giving
for
him
the
credits
overall
because he
story.
wrote
Yeah,
the
he didn't
original
write the
material.
script. He's a
Yeah.
lead writer on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has panned it big time.
Oh no.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. And again, I'm sure we'll probably do a bigger trailer breakdown when we actually get a trailer on this.
100%. We're all
yeah,
watching this together
and
too.
see,
Oh, yeah.
and see, and like really see sort of what's going on. And oh man,
I mean, if we needed a movie to push us to do an MST 3K, an R&R 3K version of a movie, this
Right.
might be it.
Right? Yeah. No, I agreed. I think that might be fun to do.
Side note too, like the soundtrack better be a banger, because I can't think of a better soundtrack in existence than the original Crow movie.
Well,
soundtrack.
if you reference our Rum and Regret Best Movie Soundtrack episode, I remember. No, didn't this fought in a couple rounds, didn't it?
I think, didn't it win the bracket?
I don't know. I don't think it won. I think it.
What would beat The Crow?
I don't know. Yeah,
I'll find it.
But
Mortal Kombat.
that's
the whole soundtrack isn't a banger though.
Right. Yeah.
Says you.
Yes, I will stick by The Crow being better than Mortal Kombat as a soundtrack. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taste.
Yeah.
Ooh, Best Movie Soundtracks Volume 1. 419.
Yeah. Nate's going down a very deep Google.
Oh, that's right, because Steve was on this. The Crow won. Thank you. It beat Star Wars.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, the soundtrack has a lot to live up to for sure. And if it's, they can do what they did with. I don't actually no, they can't do this. They did this with Footloose. Is they updated the old songs with new artists, right?
No,
and I don't think you can do that here.
No, Cure and AIC and all of that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Mortal Kombat made it through 2 rounds until it ran into The Crow, and then The Crow beat Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Okay, fair enough.
No, absolutely.
I accept this.
But I mean, the final 4 was pretty stacked. Star Wars, The Crow, Moulin Rouge, and Guardians won.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
that was tough.
Good for us for getting Moulin Rouge on there.
We need to. I mean, it wasn't my pick. I'm not sure where that came from.
It had to be mine because I
apparently it beat Almost Famous, which I don't know what the fuck we were smoking.
I'd side with Moulin Rouge on that one.
That's right. I think you were the deciding vote.
Yeah.
I got your back, Andy.
Thank you, Joe.
Which is why we torpedoed Mortal Kombat in favor of The Crow.
Right. And like I said, okay.
Pick your poison. This is a deep tangent, and we're back.
Anywho, well, that's the horror corner for this week.
Oh, right on. Yeah. So let's move on to the R&R watch list, and it's going to be super quick. So first and foremost, they dropped Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Netflix, and we just started watching that. We hadn't watched it before.
Oh, man, wow. Are you? I'm so jealous. It's so good.
It is. It's so great, and we're loving it so far. No. The Rookies come back. That's a great show. Starting off very, very strong as well.
So many seasons behind on that. I need to catch up.
Oh yeah. And then the Death and Other Details is rolling along. We're coming on the finale on Hulu.
Finish that.
Oh, Joe, it's so good, and it's so. I again, this is one of those shows that's just it becomes so twisty here and there that you just don't know where it's going to go, and great reveals in the last episode as well. So yeah, check it out. Your boy Rahul's killing it.
Nice.
He's great. And yeah, it's really good. What else? We just finished something else too, and it's escaping me at the moment, but I'm sure it will pop in midway through our Last Airbender discussion. So do you guys have anything to add to the watch list?
Yeah, I do. Joe?
No, not really. I mean, just We rewatched Dune, and I'm getting Ken started on Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple. Obviously, we just finished Avatar on Netflix. Going to be really great to talk about that with you guys. Caught up on Halo 2, Halo Season 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Really good so far.
Oh,
It's
so great
intense. A
so
lot of shit
far.
happens. Things
Man.
go real sideways on purpose, apparently.
Yeah.
Really good. Started Shogun, and fuck, guys, it's so good. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh,
Like
shit. Okay.
anything with Hirogi's not in it, I'm down for. But it also has the lead from Monarch. I can't remember her name. Can't remember her last name.
Okay.
Born in New Zealand, raised in Japan. She was just on all the late night shows, getting prepared for the Shogun release, and it's fantastic. Definitely watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Addie and I just finished the latest season of The Mystery of Erebos. It's an animated series on Netflix that is just insanely good. The animation's done really well. It's basically like dragons rule the world. There's elves and humans, and they're split, and then they have to come together. And there's a major tyrant kind of thing. It's basically the closest you'd get to a D&D like animated series before Vox Machina existed. But it's very kid friendly, but it's also amazingly well written and animated and that kind of thing. So check it out. Good stuff. Bad Batch season 3, the final season, is out, and I think some new episodes dropped today. We haven't watched those yet, but we're about halfway through the season, I think, and that's a banger. Also, it is stitching together the sequel trilogy references.
Okay.
In a prequel. Let me think. What timeline is this? This is the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy is when Bad Batch takes place.
Okay.
I think. But it basically references like Project Necromancer and all of the stuff that happens at the end of the sequel trilogy. So Filoni's doing his best to try and pardon the pun, resurrect the sequel trilogy references. But it's again done really well. The voice acting is on point.
Okay.
And it's definitely worth watching if you guys haven't seen Bad Batch. It's so great.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I went and saw Dune 2 with Addie on opening night, and man, it's really fucking good. I kind of got overhyped for it because people were dropping things like, it's the Two Towers. It's better than, Empire, that kind of shit. I can't say that, but I grew up with those movies. It is fantastic and fucking amazing, and see it on the biggest fucking screen you can. And if you can see it in IMAX, do that, because it was shot in IMAX, and the IMAX theater in Concord, the sound, just for the sound, but visually it's stunning also. When your drink shakes in the cup holder.
Nice.
It's good.
That's awesome.
Let's see. So that's all of the watching stuff. Video game news real quick. Dune Awakening just had a trailer, which I sent to you guys, which is
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Open world multiplayer online survival game where like the sandstorms will come through and reveal new areas of the map for people to mess with, and you can choose your master and your sensei kind of thing and go on different paths to become whatever you want to be in the persistent Dune online world. And it looks fucking great. So I'm obviously going to check that out. And then, my latest addiction, Helldivers, is still going super strong. They have like almost 1 million concurrent players now between Steam and PlayStation. And they finally got most of their networking stuff fixed. They had to raise the Steam cap to 750,000 people because it kept crashing. And that's just on Steam.
Yeah.
They just released a huge balance, like the first major balance patch for the game recently, and changed a little bit of the weaponry and added environmental effects like a volcano will erupt on the planet you're on, and giant craters or giant meteors will start smacking the ground, or there's earthquakes or flaming tornadoes and shit like that.
I'm fairly certain that that's going to be my my birthday ask is Helldivers.
Get it. It's so fucking good. And for a $39 game, it's really good. It's kicking the shit out of every like full on major release.
Well, and I was going to ask that, do I just need the $39 version, or do I need the upgraded version?
So
the gear is good enough.
So the thing about this game, and this is something that if you look at some of the news clippings, like how fucking old am I? The internet articles on the World Wide Web. talk about how this is a live service done right, where they
Okay.
allow you the option to like buy whatever
Okay.
currency that you need to like for the aesthetics and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But you can actually, so the special edition only gives you access to like a cape and a different suit of armor. That's all it is.
Oh, got it.
And
Okay.
it's not just aesthetic. The armor has functionality, but during the game you can earn almost the same thing. It just doesn't look as cool.
Oh, okay. All right.
And there's actually like, there isn't really battle passes in this. They call it something different, and they're persistent, so you never lose out on things.
Got it.
But the premium track that you would get if you pay for the special edition, you can also earn enough credits in the game to buy that also.
Oh, okay.
So you don't necessarily need it,
Mhm.
but I mean, I bought that edition, and if I hadn't, I would have gone back and upgraded it just to support the studio.
Got
it's
it.
that fucking good.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
Yeah. So yeah, highest recommendations. I basically benched everything else I was playing, like
Yeah.
Last of Us Part 2 and The Witcher 3 and everything else. I'm still, I mean, I shouldn't say. I'm very many hours into this game.
Right.
And it's very fun. Yeah. So
yeah, a quick video game news from me. So I was still going hardcore on Suicide Squad, just because it was taking me a while to get through it. However, they released Peacemaker for Mortal Kombat.
I saw the trailer. It was hilarious.
Oh man! So first off, we're talking voiceover work. John Cena just obviously nails it, and all the good stuff. But the brutalities that they gave him and the animations post brutality are so fantastic and so great.
The shotgun between the legs.
Yeah. So that's his like when you're down on health, you do your two triggers, and that's your like big move at the end. That's not the actual. So some of the brutalities, like you can do your sonic boom and the person blows up, but then it blows you back. And then you're like sitting on the ground, and he says, well, that might have been overkill, as he's pulling like body parts off of him.
Pieces off of you.
Yeah. And then another brutality that he does, he again blows somebody up with the sonic boom and feeds body parts to Eagly.
Nice. Let's go.
It's but it's just I mean he's so fun to play, and he's so good. It took me I think 2 sessions and he was fully leveled up.
Nice.
Like I maxed him out. So
right
yeah, it was fantastic DLC character for Mortal Kombat.
Right on. Joe, congrats on the Stardew Valley update coming. What is that, next week or the week after?
Oh, that's right.
It's all over the internet.
Yeah.
It's all the news clippings I've been reading with my morning paper. Yeah, but that should be pretty big.
When is the haunted chocolatier going to make it?
Sorry, what? Willy Wonka spinoff?
That's his next game.
Oh, Roger.
Wonka releases on streaming this weekend, by the way.
It does. Good. I need to see that at some point.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a lot going on in the Marvel world other than the stuff that I kind of already mentioned, but not really.
Yeah.
There's Marvel. Let's see. Disney Plus confirms 3 Marvel and Star Wars releases for March 2024. So in no particular order, these aren't mind-blowing. Morbius is out on Disney Plus. So it's Morbin time. Bad Batch, obviously, season 3, episodes 5 through 9 come out this month. And that means we get 2 next week. Very cool. X-Men 97 episodes 1 and 2 drop this month. Wednesday, March 20th for episode 1, and then the following Wednesday for episode 2. And that's a wrap on that article. Good shit. Can't wait to see the new X-Men, or the old X-Men.
The old X-Men.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what else we got here. Marvel Studios confirms its next 7 movies in MCU Phase 5 and 6, and I know you guys are dying to understand what's happening, but we get Deadpool and Wolverine on July 26th, 2024, which is gonna be fucking great. I can't fucking wait. Side note, they confirmed, we talked about this last time, that they confirmed Jennifer Garner as Elektra, plus a bunch of other people that they've been keeping pretty tight wraps under. But there's also the rumor that Blake Lively, his wife, is playing Lady Deadpool in this movie.
Oh, nice.
Which I guess, sure, whatever. It should be fun. More Deadpool.
All I need is an Alan Cumming Nightcrawler.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah, right. That'd be great.
If that was a surprise, I would be fucking stoked.
Yeah.
The squee heard around the world. Let's see. We also get Captain America 4. Brave New World is the new subtitle for that. That's in February 2025. Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Blade, Avengers Kang Dynasty, which has actually changed. I think now it's not going to be called Kang Dynasty because of the obvious Kang reworking. And then Secret Wars. So that's the plan there. And that's all I've got. Keep it short and sweet
All right.
for this time. So
All right, so let's get into our Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix series review. And again, let me just preface this with I think I'm the sole person who has not seen the anime. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, that will be remedied.
And so Nate is the most recent person to watch it,
Okay.
I believe.
All right.
Yeah, we just finished.
So I'm going to defer to you on the nitty gritty because
I don't have much nitty gritty on it. I was kind of checked out for a lot of it, frankly.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I love the animated series so much, and especially after watching the Marisha Ray whiteboard breakdown, which was
Right.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It definitely it made sense why things were kind of weird for me. So
Sure.
yeah, Jobin, I think you should probably run this one.
Yeah. No. So I did see the 2010 crappy movie.
Okay.
That I will most likely when I'm drawing comparisons here. That's my unfortunate benchmark for Avatar is. But yeah, so we're gonna go episode by episode, and Joe, why don't you take it away?
All right. So I'm gonna give kind of just a little overview of things that we'll get into the nitty gritty, but
Okay.
I have things to say.
Sure.
So one, it's a lot easier to turn live action to animation than animation to live action. So I think people should just cut it some slack.
Especially
Sure.
with years of animation pulled into one
And
series.
Right.
and this show was announced in late 2018, so there was COVID shutdowns and all the writer strike and everything. So again, give it a little leeway. The original writers were on as executive producers until they left in 2020 due to creative differences.
That's always a good sign.
So take that also into consideration.
Shocking.
And take into consideration each season is 20 episodes, and they're
right.
shortening it down to 8.
Yeah.
Concessions need to be made.
Ugh, I don't like this political Jobin that's happening here.
Well, and it's just funny too that the original anime was, you said 20 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we get 8 episodes of the live action, right? And then, but then in 2010 we did 2-hour version
Of
like a Cliff Notes version of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So when people say like, well, this was at least in the movie we only had to deal with 20 or 2 hours of horribleness, and now it's like, come on, go easy, man.
Right. Yeah.
And But will absolutely go watch Marisha Ray's breakdown of this because she says all of this way better than I will.
Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes. The music overall was done very, very well.
Okay.
The end credit drum beat, the Leaves of the Vine, which we'll get into when we get into the episode breakdown. The little Fire Nation ditty, things like that. Like those kind of attention to detail, that's where they nailed the show.
Yeah.
The sets and the costumes, pretty dead balls on, with the exception of a few shitty wigs.
Yeah, really shitty wigs, right?
Yeah. A couple of really shitty wigs.
Yeah, like that.
The casting, Aang, Zuko, Ozai, June, perfect.
Pretty much
absolutely perfect. Yep. June, Ko the Face Stealer,
Oh yeah.
Ridiculous. And the Cabbage Merchant, because
Yes,
he was the
same
original
guy.
voice
Same guy.
actor as the freaking Cabbage Merchant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of the Cabbage Merchant, I love the first time that you actually get to talk to him. He's like, "Can I interest you in?" No, he doesn't get to say it the first time.
Right.
You're like, "Ah,
cabbages,
I know.
give me cabbages or give
I
me
want
death.
my cabbages."
So shoot, do you guys just want to hear my
Yeah.
random
That's what we're
random
here for,
tangent?
Jobin. Let's go.
Yeah. Well. Let me comment. I agree with you. I think the music. In terms of just sort of what it was, I think the music was done really well. I think the VFX in some spots were really, really good. There's some spots where they were so,
Yeah.
but I mean, for the most part, I really liked. I as someone who hasn't seen the anime, I really enjoyed the set design and the different worlds. I didn't
Mhm.
necessarily connect with what was happening over in the Fire Nation just because we were inside the whole time, and when we were outside, I felt I was playing Mortal Kombat, right?
Hmm.
And in terms of the casting, like I feel I it's funny, and I feel this way too when they try to bring in sort of other actors for other sort of beloved properties that we see, and it just feels like no matter how hard they try, like I don't know that they're ever gonna get like a good Sokka anywhere.
I mean, he kind of cast him pretty well. The script was not great for him,
Right. Well, and he
and
was
the
a little
changes weren't done well.
Mhm.
he was a little robotic first off,
Yeah,
and
at the
then but
beginning, at
then
least.
they ended up giving him some of the better lines, and towards like he was the sort of the weird, like we're really doing this kind of voice during the show,
Mhm.
which again some of the lines hit pretty good, but then it was just sort of his delivery of them that I just thought were hard. But that being said, Nate, do you have any sort of overarching thoughts?
I mean, of the whole series, or are we talking
Yeah.
about episode one?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I get in terms of what Joe talked about, music,
Yeah.
casting, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
sure. The music,
general overarching.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the music was great. The special effects were not good in my opinion. Like a lot of them were good.
Mhm.
Some of them occasionally they were great, but a lot of the in between stuff was really like, oh wow, that was bad. Kind of like the shadows were off or the pacing was off in the
Sure.
animation versus the live action, that kind of thing. And you figure that since Netflix spends all the money, they would pay for that.
Right.
As far as the casting goes, like, holy crap. I didn't realize how much I hated Ken Lung. He
Right?
was so good in this.
Yeah.
But in general, the casting I think was kind of spot on, with the exceptions that Joe left out. But
We'll talk
the
about
actor,
Katara.
yeah, I'm not going to go there. I'll let you run with that one. But the actor that played Iro, Paul Sun-Young Lee, fantastic, spot on, amazing. I want him to be the grandpa I never had, and teach me
Right.
firebending.
Yep.
And those are really hard shoes to fill because
100%.
you're going
Yeah.
from Mako to then Greg Baldwin, who
Mhm.
filled those shoes
Right.
well enough,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and the relationship between him and Zuko, they really did a good job with that.
Yeah.
In the series. I was really kind of bummed that Dante didn't get a chance to get into this series at all. He played Zuko in the animated series. Bangarang.
But dude,
Dante Balsco.
Dallas Liu sounds just like him at certain points.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job with it.
He nails Zuko. Like, oh man.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, the casting was great. Visual effects, better than average, I would say. And then some really great standout moments in the set design, like you said. A lot of it that obviously was animated. They did a great job with the air temples and that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't really have any other kind of general comments other than Addie and I. It started out really slow for us, and then we really got into it. And enjoyed it. And the finale is pretty good. So
yeah,
that was it.
All right. So let's dig into episode 1, Joe. Let's swing away.
All right. So right out the gate, they show the decimation of the Airbenders, which they don't do that in the animated series. So it's like, oh wow, okay, we're just
but-
going straight out the gate. Here we
Pull the
go.
Band-Aid off. Yeah.
But I appreciated that as someone who like watched the movie and didn't like I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention at that point in the movie, but I didn't realize that time had passed. I don't know.
So
Like,
it does feel like it's like the show is basically the first episode of the show is like, here's catching all the people up that haven't watched the animated series.
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
and
That's
that,
exactly what this episode is, which
Yeah.
and it does it very well. But
I thought that part alone I thought was really good.
it
Yeah,
is kind of
episode
just
one-
like cringy because like
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of stuff that you find out through the show
Right.
Uh-huh.
that is now being ham-fisted to you,
Right.
and you don't get to like go through the journey with Aang and Katara and everybody. And
Sure.
A lot of character development happens in the beginning of the
Yeah.
animated series. Well, it says here on the Wikipedia thing that the first episode of the Netflix series covers 3 episodes of the animated series.
so,
So you know-
sorry.
That's okay. That's what it's saying. The first 3, it's specifically adapting the first 3 episodes of the animated series when The Boy and the Iceberg, The Avatar Returns, and The Southern Air Temple. So eventually you do learn some of this stuff, but it's spaced out over weeks.
Yeah, here's my problem with this show
Yeah.
is there's a lot of, and again, this is you're condensing 20 episodes into 8.
Uh-huh.
So you're gonna have to make some concessions, but it does feel like they are just pushing everything into these little episodes and like, okay, we're gonna do all the air temple stuff here, all this here, or earth temple, and all the spirit stuff here. And yeah, it's just like, you know, a lot of the like the meat is getting lost.
Right. Yeah.
Don't just give us the bone, give us the meat. Wait.
Yeah. And so other notes is this like in this first episode specifically, and like Murray like said this too, is like it can't decide if it's like gritty and realistic versus like the straight animation brought to life, and like all the like everything looks great, like the costumes look exactly like out of the cartoon, but then Ozai like or Sozin fucking lights somebody on fire, and it's like, oh, this is a kid's show. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It went way Mortal Kombat a few
immolating
times.
somebody.
Yeah,
right
no,
there.
it's amazing. Fatality.
Fatality, which is great, but I mean, it's like you pick one or the other.
Yeah.
He learned some stuff on the Lost Island, you know.
The Grand exposition is a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really funny.
Like, if you're gonna say the opening monologue, just say it in the opening of the show. Don't make Grand say it halfway
Right.
through the episode. It's
Yeah.
Totally.
Come
I mean, the Grand was the vehicle for a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Grand did a lot of work.
Yeah, her back hurts from carrying a
Yeah.
lot of the plot.
Yeah.
But and Zuko was perfect. That was the one thing in the first episode. I'm like, you got Zuko right, who's my favorite character, obviously.
Right.
Yay. So that's my breakdown of episode 1.
Okay. Yeah, I again, like to Nate's point, I do think that episode 1, even though it's covering 3 episodes of the anime, was a little bit slow in a way to bring people in, and maybe that wasn't intentional, just to not sort of throw too much at everybody right off the bat. So I agree with you there. And yeah, all right. Anyway, let's move on. Episode 2.
Episode 2. So we're now getting to Kyoshi Island. Zuko has a bullet journal that Aang stole, and I'm totally down with that. Commander Zhao, we get to meet him, and he's as smarmy as he should be, like the CEO's kid.
Yeah.
Suki looks amazing, but she's supposed to be showing Sokka how badass women should be, and not how socially awkward she is and doesn't know how to flirt with people. So that I'm kind of like, you kind of got a little wrong there. And this is where, like, I'm like, they're kind of missing the mark on my two badass ladies, Suki and Katara. Like, Katara is supposed to steal the waterbending scroll from pirates, not have it gifted to her by Expositor Grand.
Right.
Yeah, something that takes like 5 or 6 episodes to get to in the animated series happens on episode 1.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, and this is why I'm saying I think they're just clumping together a lot of stuff from pretty much every season. And I think it's because they were thinking of, like, I hope this wasn't it, but I'm thinking of, like, this shit might get canceled, so let's get all the stuff in here while we can.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm a little concerned about seasons 2 and 3 of, like, you already did all these things in season 1.
You know,
supposed to be in season 2 and 3,
but now that you know
Let's
that
see.
you have a season 2 and 3, you can better plan that out, you know? And if they I don't know if they would, but if they have to retcon some things to bring it back, who knows, they might. But
yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know. Now that they know that they can essentially finish, right, what they
Yeah.
started and not worry about, like, oh, we have to worry about season 2 getting renewed, right? They don't
Yeah.
need to worry about that.
they can actually, like, take
They
some
can-
time.
yeah,
in
like, they
seasons 2 and 3.
We have 16 episodes to tell the rest of the story. That 40 episodes, right? Tell,
Yeah.
right? So how do we do that? How do we get that done with what we've already started, right? So, anyway, I thought episode 2 was really great from not having seen the animated. I loved Kyoshi Island. I thought the him tapping into the Avatar Temple was really cool. I really loved that part. I loved her. I loved Kyoshi coming in and taking over at that last part. My question to you guys is, again, from someone who didn't watch the anime, firebending. Do you need fire already to firebend?
Yes.
Okay. So that was something that they
I mean, you're supposed to. Yeah.
right. Okay, yeah. Well, and
most firebenders need to have fire. If
Right.
you can create your own fire, then that's a horse of a different color.
Oh, okay. All right. Right.
That
yeah.
is a thing. There are firebenders that can create their own fire.
And
Okay.
there's also the lightning color, the lightning shaded color.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, Nate. We'll get to that.
Okay. All right. Because the movie actually had them need fire to bend fire. So that's all. All right. Move on.
Okay, so episode 3, we get to Omashu, which Omashu is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was so excited about this episode, and it was awesome. We get again kind of like putting extra episodes and putting all them into one.
Yeah.
But it was done really well. Like, you know, okay, Teo was from the Northern Air Temple, and that's why he can fly, and that was the whole thing. But it makes sense to put them here. And we get Jet, who looks great, and Pipsqueak and the Duke or Smellerby are awesome. And we get the White Lotus tile, which will come into play later.
What was the White Lotus tile?
It was the tile that Iroh kind of dropped.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right. Okay.
The big thing in this episode is, so you never see Azula until the next season. We get early onset Azula.
Okay.
So
Ask your doctor if you're
Right. Yeah.
experiencing early onset Azula.
okay,
Side
yeah,
effects may
probably
include static electricity, cunning,
lightning
and plotting to
and
murder your
cuntiness.
family. And yeah, cuntiness happens monthly.
So we're gonna see how that plays out. Uh, yeah, Nate, how'd you feel about Amashu?
I mean, yeah, it looked amazing. Kind of had a, I don't know. I liked everything about the location. I thought was great. This is the wait, sorry, we're still on episode 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No,
this is
this is
episode 3.
3.
This is episode 3.
This is
Oh,
when they
Amashu.
get to Amashu.
When they finally get to Amashu. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Earth Kingdom City. I don't remember this episode. Sorry.
So this is where so Amashu's basically like a rock concert that you're trying to get into, and
Yeah, it's
you
a
need to
big
get
Earth Kingdom city, and
right. Yeah, you need to get through, and this is them when they
Oh yeah, the one that has all of the
meet up with
Earth.
they meet up with the freedom fighters to get
Yeah. Sorry, this one has all the Earth
yeah.
transit.
So basically, they
stuff,
took
yeah.
like a lot of the Earth Kingdom episodes and put them
Mashed
into this one.
place. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
where I get a little nervous because I'm like that. A lot of that stuff doesn't happen until book
Much
2,
later.
and
Yeah.
I'm like,
What
are
they supposed
you
to do
gonna
now?
run out of stuff to
Well, yeah.
pull from?
Yeah,
Because
they're
you're
gonna have
pulling
to
from
create-
season 2.
They're gonna have to create stuff out of whole cloth for sure.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was good overall. I don't know, the way they did the inventions I thought were cool. The blasting jelly is interesting. I did like Denny Pooty showing up in
Yeah.
the show. Yeah, overall I thought it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So next episode is Into the Dark, where we get to see Boomy, and
Cave
I like
Cave hippies.
cave hippies. Okay. So
I forgot about the cave hippies
the
playing guitar in the cave.
I'm
No, man.
so fucking happy they did this. Secret tunnel.
Yes.
Secret tunnel.
Hmm.
I'm with Marisha. I never thought they would ever do this in a heartbeat, and I'm so glad they did, because that's one of the things from the show. It's like, oh yes.
Yeah.
But other things, I wish they did more of like Aang writing the mail card and being a kid, and
No.
you know, like one of the big things is with the show is like Aang's a kid. They don't really show his kid side in the live action. So
they don't have time. It's just all the pressure of him
and
being
that's the thing.
Avatar.
It's they don't have
But
time.
they tried to establish that in episode 1 with as soon as he wakes up, he's playing with the Southern Water Tribe kids and riding the ball and running.
They
the
tried
rock
to
and stuff.
establish it. It was
Yeah.
It seems like it's kind of like a quick little blip where to me it should be kind of a little more established, and
it's a
and
main
also
focus of
like
the series, yeah,
animated
series,
like building a bond between him, Sokka, and Katara.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
is like it's the gang,
right?
So secret tunnel. Aang and Iroh's happy jail time was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really was like, this dude gets Iroh. Like, that's when the guy who played Iroh fucking nailed it. Sokka and Katara in the secret tunnel. Weird, because secret tunnel is the tunnel where the two lovers of Amashu meet and
get it on.
And in the animated series, that's like Katara and Aang go through that tunnel, and that's kind of the beginning of their little love story. So having Sokka and Katara in there is really fucking weird.
They had to
But-
Luke and Leia it somehow, right?
Ew.
and then it's like it has nothing to do really with love. It between two people. It has to do with the Badger moles can sense love, and I mean, on the one hand, I'm really cool. Like, I'm glad I got to see Badger moles. Those were cool.
Yeah, the badger mole was fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, that was weird. And now we're gonna get to holy shit, Leaves of the Vine. When we hear Leaves of the Vine and getting to see the history of Zuko and oh my god. The end of this episode, I was ugly crying.
Oh no.
Ugly crying. I'm like, they played the song and oh sorry. I love Zuko. And Iroh. So yeah, that was that's Into the Dark.
Yeah, I think this is where and again I really started to get into I mean I was so I mean like I think episode 2 was where I got really into sort of the journey and everything, and these 2 episodes again sort of seeing just the difference between technically 2 Earth camps, right? Kyoshi Island and Omashu, right?
Mhm.
I loved that they were sort of the similar tribes but just done so differently, and I think that was
Oh man, wait till you see the series.
yeah.
Omashu in the series is
Yeah.
so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, but just seeing this and just sort of seeing sort of how far they were going with this. Again, I had no reference of that the tunnels were supposed to be Aang and Katara and not Sokka and Katara. So that was interesting. That's an interesting change. So now do you guys think that they're possibly is it too young? Is it too soon for that?
Well, yeah, but that's not why they're doing that.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, this is going to be a refrain throughout the entire review: is that they're just mashing things together for the sake of moving the story along, and they're stealing from their future to kind of create their present, and it's not going to end well for the series. I don't really see how they're going to.
So
I mean, it'd be flashbacks maybe or prequel setups for the rest of it. I don't know.
So I know I know you guys are that they're glossing over stuff. So how long were the animated episodes? Also an hour?
No, there were 30 minutes.
Yeah, so 24 edited for TV because it was on Nickelodeon.
Oh,
yeah. So each season was 20 episodes, and they're about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And there were 3 seasons. There's the water season, the earth season, and the fire one.
Right.
So and we'll get to that.
Even though the math may work out to be close to the same runtime, they're pulling from 3 seasons of TV, not just 1.
Right. Yeah. So let's just say, and because I know that some of the episodes are lesser time and whatnot, but if they average like 55 minutes, you're missing out on maybe 20 minutes of actual like story, which is interesting.
Well, it's 3. You got to multiply your initial total by 3 because it's 3 seasons they're pulling in for this one season.
Well, I know, but I'm doing 1 season of because now that they're doing 3 seasons, they can.
Well, here's what I think has happened. They tried to smash in as much as they could, thinking they only had 1 season because Netflix has a good history of saying, go fuck yourself on shows.
Right.
So they're like, okay, let's get all this shit in here and get as much as we can out of this 1 season we could potentially have.
Yeah, and you can imagine why the creators might have left.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so now they've greenlit the other 2. So I'm curious to see how they're going to fill that extra time.
Right.
It's just got to be just a ton of flashbacks and build out or something. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me. So as far as my stuff on this, I really liked the character development that happened in this episode. A lot of stuff. We got to get a little bit of the backstory of why Zuko and Iroh are so close together. He kind of sees Zuko as his son now because his son is gone. And then I think the secret tunnel minstrel thing was fucking amazing. Thank God they did that. Otherwise there would have been so much backlash. I do like this horrible criticized treatment of Boomy from the comic Crow of Fandom Pulse. Nothing in this episode of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender makes any sense. Boomy is warped into a spiteful, hateful, would-be child killer who completely gives up on fighting the Fire Nation and really wants to commit suicide, and is suddenly redeemed through the power of love and friendship. It's all just so awful. Yes, and you're correct, sir. The good stuff was great, but the ham-fistedness, no. Moving on.
All right, episode 5. Spirited Away. So this is the Spirit World episode where we're basically getting all of the Spirit World hijinks. A little bit too much of the Aang guilt through this whole thing. The entire
show,
yeah.
We get it. You were in an ice bubble. Yeah, it's fine. But he wasn't this guilty and just like, I just have to atone for being in the ice, whatever. We get Washi Tong, which I did not even think would have shown up. Looks awesome.
Is that the owl spirit?
The owl spirit.
Yeah. Okay, I love this part. I just thought
not
it was really
supposed to be here, but
big bird.
Okay.
I really love. I thought it was really funny that he's talking to Aang, and then they cut to Sokka, and I thought that was a great gag. So
that was a surprise.
Okay,
but nice. I hope we get more of him. June is Dead Bulls on perfect. Her mount is perfect. Everything about June is perfect. I have no notes.
No notes.
Can we talk about how awesome the mount is, though? I know you said it's perfect, but just in general, what a great fucking idea. I mean, the animated series version is obviously almost exactly the same, but to see that in live action, you're like, oh, wait a minute. What is... Oh my God. Addie was like, what is that? It's so good.
May and Ty Lee. I have an issue. A big issue. May is one of my favorite characters in this, and they're not great. I'm not feeling that.
So who are they? Who are they again?
They're Azula's best friends. Her side pieces.
Side pieces.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think that means what you think it means, Joe.
No, sorry, bad.
Okay, well,
I retract that statement. But her besties.
But to your point, Azula's not really in season 1, and she was like in the peanut gallery in the movie.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they were just there for the Leonardo DiCaprio moment of
So the fandom calls them Ozai's Angels because they're fucking badass, and I'm really hoping in the next season they get a little more badass and a little more true to their character. Like,
they're not just mean. They're not just mean girls. They're fucking brutal.
Yeah, they're brutal, and they have character to them. Like these, they didn't have character to them. So I was, I'm like, I know that I love them, and so I have a strong opinion, but I'm like, yeah, that was not good.
Yeah.
And Ozai would never, ever give Zuko any credit because he banished him. So when he was like, well, Zuko did this and you didn't, and I'm like, no.
That was just a very heavy-handed, trying to encourage his daughter to push out. You know, like,
and he never had to encourage Azula. Azula
right.
encouraged herself because she's a fucking badass.
Mhm.
Anywho, that's my only critique of Ozai. Other than that, Ozai's fucking awesome.
Okay.
But again, they're pulling a lot from seasons 2 and 3, so I'm worried.
Again, yeah, we're
now
worried.
that they're green light, I'm like, you can't do all the stuff that you ham-fisted into the season, so we'll
Right.
see. Ko, the face stealer. Looks
Go on.
fucking amazing. Sounds fucking amazing. This was probably the best part of this episode. My only critique, he didn't show any faces. He's the face stealer.
We showed one. Yeah,
He showed
just
one.
the one. Yeah.
Like,
Like 4 or
shows
5
some
at least in
faces.
the show, right? Or it was
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So another thing of just like you made it just close enough. You didn't fucking get it.
I really did want Takai's serious or signature laugh coming out of that thing.
Right.
Like,
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Man. Yeah.
and
But hearing him also in Blue Eyed Samurai, but then also here as well. Like he's
and the animation on Ko is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah. No, it was really well done. Yeah.
Terrifying. And basically, hopefully we can put a lid on the Gyatso stuff. Because, it's like Aang needs to not be hung up on his past, needs to bond with the people that he's with and be the goofy kid that he is. So, it's just the hung up on Gyatso stuff is kind of like
when they show him, they talk, and then he comes back and he's gone. Like,
yeah,
it would make. I mean, I get why you do that, but if you're gonna put him back in that, at least let him wrap that session up. Like,
right?
I didn't pay you for an hour, therapist, to call it at 45 minutes.
Exactly.
But again, a lot of it is like they're telling Aang that you can't do it this way, you can't do it this way, and he feels like, okay, obviously I didn't get the full message, I didn't pay attention enough, right? What do I need to do? But then with the point of, I think he needed to figure out his own way of doing it and not rely on that, which ultimately he gets there, right?
Right.
But I think that's what they were sort of hammering home there. At least that's what I got from it. Was, okay, he wasn't there. He didn't get to finish his. Obi-Wan dies before he can finish his, or Yoda dies before he can finish the training. But that was the no more training do you require at this point.
But look, a scroll I have for you.
Yeah, right. So, and that's what I took from it. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. Although the Yu Yang archers were pretty badass. The way they showed them off a little bit in this one, but more over in I think the next episode is when they show off what they can actually do. But Zhao becomes a little more of a player in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we get Zuko's backstory, which we only get like bits and pieces in the animated series. Now we get full on. Here we go.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell does anyone in Fire Nation have any hair?
Right. That's a fair point.
Yeah,
they should all be hairless.
Point.
Yeah.
Right. Like just seeing the sparring between Zuko and Ozai, it's just like, come on.
Well, yeah, technically they should all be horribly scarred, like the one part on Zuko's face.
Right. Yeah. Like,
so they have some limited fire resistance. I'm going to put my D&D hat on her. It's probably limited fire resistance, but if it goes over a certain damage threshold, then maybe it affects them.
The fact that they live in the Fire Nation, they just have this immediate resistance to fire and everything.
Yeah. But then how did he get burned? because his pops is just the Uber bender.
Well, because that was
Ah.
within a certain.
But it goes through walls and shit too. So you're
Right?
like, wait a minute, how does this? What are the rules of this fire?
Yeah, and that's seriously, it comes out of nowhere.
Suspension of disbelief.
Fire bad.
So that's all. That was my question. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah. So this episode is the Zuko episode. You get all his backstory and dude, Ozai. Daniel Day Kim as Ozai. Fucking love it. Here for it.
You learned some shit on the island.
Fucking here for it. We get the Blue Spirit, which is the start of Zuko starting to maybe turn a leaf. We'll see.
The Blue Spirit, was that his masked
His
character?
mask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
And the we have been friends in a different life or in 100 years. There could be friends later. And Iroh fucking puts the crew in check for my boy Zuko.
Yeah, big time. That was a great one.
That was when I was like, this is Iroh. This is my Iroh. I'm so here for this. Any thoughts?
I have no notes.
Yeah.
No. So the the Blue Spirit, the whole Blue Spirit section is great. I mean,
Yeah.
again, this is another episode that mashes 3 disparate episodes of, I think this is all season 1, into one episode of TV. So it goes from episode 8, episode 12, and episode 13, and throws all of that into this. So I think overall it was really great. Like you said before, Ozai is fucking perfect pretty much in general, but I did like how the whole Blue Spirit escape worked out. I did like the I guess it happens later, the reveal about his blades and how they identify who the Blue Spirit was, because that happens in the show also, and then the archers obviously trying to kill him but knocking him out instead. But to your point, Joe, I think the biggest part of this was the whole 41st Division piece, and they come around finally, even though he's been treating them like shit the entire time. So it would make sense that they would mutiny and that kind of thing. So that's it for me.
Yeah, but no, that the reveal of the 41st I thought was great. That whole backstory I thought was, again, like just knowing that, getting to know that, I thought was really good. So it's definitely said a lot more about Zuko, because like as someone who doesn't know the anime, again, I was like, he has those moments where, oh, he's not so bad. It's like, no, he's a dick. No, he's not so bad. No, he's a dick. It's like, and this was the episode where, okay, all right, he's not so bad.
I mean, that's the thing in the animated series. That's kind of how it goes. You get the back and forth of like, he's a shit. Oh, he's not. He's,
Yeah.
At some, a certain point, then he figures out not to be a shit.
Right.
We'll see that next season.
Yes.
So episode 7, we get to the Northern Water Tribe.
Yeah, before we move on real quick, let me read this quote. This is actually really good. There was plenty of time to establish Zuko and Aang's connection and how they're both dealing with not living up to the expectations of others. Aang seemed to genuinely despise Zuko until he got to learn more about him and what drives him. It would be nice if the other episodes spent more time developing the relationship between the characters. 180%.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to stop you there. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
For sure. Worth it. Yeah. I agree 100%.
The North.
And the North.
Remember.
Yes, the North remembers.
Another thing, the Northern Water Tribe looks amazing. Like, whoever, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The city looked incredible.
The city looks great.
It looked. I love the reveal of the wall coming into the wall.
It looks exactly like out of the anime too. So it's
that's cool.
Great.
Yeah, that was
the sets overall are fucking top notch.
Yeah, and again, that was the one big thing that I remembered from the movie was, and they spent an hour in the movie in the Battle of the Northern Water Tribe, but I remember the reveal of the big wall and everything, and so I really enjoyed. Yeah, I really enjoyed just getting there, and then seeing everything, and then Sokka's just planting his seeds all over the all over the world, ain't he?
And here's another thing, like you have so many episodes between Suki and Yue.
Yeah.
Now it's just like they're right next to each other. It's like
I know he's just
Sokka's
like out of sight, out of mind. Like, hey,
just so that's
different area codes.
It
doesn't count.
Different area codes.
Right.
Oh man,
I forget what that's from.
To be fair, the platinum blonde wins also.
Yeah.
But Yue's wig is not that great.
Oh, it's so bad. It's cool to see
that
Midthunder
is
in the
the
role,
one thing
though.
I will say M. Night Shyamalan did a good job with is realistic costumes and wigs.
Yeah,
that is the only thing I will give him for that.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny of rewatching the movie was the weird Katara voiceover when they get to the Northern Water Tribe to basically, and Sokka and Princess Yue grew really close. It's like,
the time travel.
Weird.
Take your word for it.
Right. And on top of that, it's Aang and the Avatar and Sokka and Iroh.
Right. Yeah.
Anyhow.
Okay. And then ice cream bending? Is that a thing?
Hell yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Okay. Milk bending?
Milk bending?
Milk bending. I mean, that's a different movie. We're not going to talk about.
So yeah,
the Asatar, the last milk bender.
Yeah,
we're not gonna talk about Joe's fan fiction novel.
Right?
Nope.
Not
happening.
No,
has a tattooed crow in it.
Wait, do you have access to my computer, Nate?
No, God, no. Do you think I'd actually be able to see? I don't think that's a... Nope.
So, in this episode, we get fucking Lightning Azula, which this is the Azula I've been waiting for.
Yeah, but you gotta wait 3 seasons in the fucking animated series.
I know, but
damn it.
If you're gonna throw her in the first season, at least give her some balls.
If you're gonna bend your milk early, you might as well go blue milk. Oh.
So she was a Palpatine?
She just calls herself a Skywalker.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, she was not supposed to be in this season.
Right. Yeah.
And she was supposed to have lightning from the get-go. So a little weird, but okay.
So she can bend fire and lightning?
No, she wasn't supposed to have lightning from the beginning. That develops, doesn't it?
But like
way down the road. Yeah.
But when you first see her in the animated series, she's an adult and can bend lightning.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true because that's a future version.
Yeah, it's the flashbacks where you see her as a kid and she's bending fire. And,
yep.
Then she grows to, bend lightning.
So she can bend 2 elements then?
Well, that's the thing with the animated series. You'll learn about that. The elements have
there's levels.
What do they call it? It's not just levels, but it's like complementary elements somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's a brown belt in bending?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Depends. If Aang is the black belt, she's a brown belt?
I mean, wait till you see what the Earthbenders can do.
Okay. Or the Waterbenders.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, the Waterbenders is going to be even worse. Ooh.
Yeah. But spoilers. So we get that. We get the differences in the Northern Water Tribe versus the Southern, where women are not allowed to fight. And
I'm in the kitchen and
I'm
the healing hut.
Glad they didn't gloss over this, but they missed out on, in the animated series, Aang trains with Paku and then on the sly teaches Katara nightly of how to waterbend, and it builds their relationship and things like that.
Right.
So it was that was little glossed over. Paku and Gran Gran was glossed over because that's part of the reason Paku originally, he saw Katara's necklace, which she has, and
They don't
he
reference
saw
it.
that and was like, hey, I know that necklace. That's Gran Gran, and that's how that whole situation gets figured out. So that was completely glossed over.
Are
We'll
they
see
related?
if Paku and Gran Gran are together.
Okay.
They
So
got it on.
Yeah, they're a thing.
so Paku is grandpa?
Actually, I don't know if Paku
Yeah,
is
that's a good
actually
point.
Grandpa.
Okay.
I just know Paku and Gran Gran were in love and had a
Gran
thing.
side piece.
Yeah.
side. Either like I don't. No, he's not Katara's dad.
Mm-mm.
No,
All right. Right.
it's
Okay. Well, no,
but
Side
Paku
bender.
and
Yeah.
Gran had a thing.
okay. All right.
But it's kind of interesting because they showed her necklace so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna pay that off, right?
Well, and again, that's how Aang identifies his burnt up master at the air temple. Like, obviously, necklaces are you
The
know
thing.
the dog tags of the Avatar world.
Yeah, he had his
So-
Akuma beads on or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Right. So.
Which and you don't see many Fire Nation emblems.
Because they keep getting burned up.
So my last and are we ever gonna see Aang practice waterbending, learn waterbending? That's the whole point
Yeah.
of this whole season is he is trying to learn waterbending.
That's what they're saving for the next season.
So,
But no, the next season is him learning earthbending.
No, I know that, Joe.
Oh,
well,
this,
I at this.
I'm
so-
irritated.
Yeah,
I'm
big time.
sorry.
Shame on me for saying this, but this was something that the movie actually did well. Was Aang practicing waterbending to some point, getting ready for this, right? Because I thought it was weird that he was essentially putting off the test of even trying to waterbend. And like I thought it was going to I thought at some point like he was just gonna naturally pick it up and teach Katara, like when he's showing her, no, you have to feel the energy around you, let the force flow through you and all that good stuff, right? And I thought like water was gonna come up and he was gonna be like, oh wow, this this is how you do it. And I thought it was weird that it was kept getting put off and it never got. Like he never got around to bending a single thing of water.
They even brought it up if she said like you need to train.
Yeah, right.
Like, there was a little point and I'm like, okay, well this is kind of the whole point of the entire season, but all right.
That's why it's called water. Book
Yeah.
1 is
Book
water.
1 is called water. Book 2 is called earth.
All right.
3 is called fire.
Spoiler
These
alert.
are the
Those
reasons.
things happen. That's why there's no air book. He's already a fucking airbender.
Right. Well, we might.
And he has to learn all 4 to be the Avatar.
Right.
Well, we might get the next season. We might get a training montage to "You're the Best Around" of him learning the waterbending.
No, there better be some flashback or whatever.
Right. Yeah. As they're rebuilding the Northern Water Tribe, he's
well. And here's the thing: they took a lot of the like Earth stories, so then maybe we'll fill it with the water. Him doing a water montage.
I mean, he's gonna get to learn from Katara because apparently she's a fucking master in one season.
And yeah.
Fucking Christ.
And so now we get to the last episode.
Yeah.
Which I have minimal notes. One is they can't kill fucking Momo. What the fuck? Like
No.
what?
They kind of set up the fact that he would be okay in the previous episode about
yeah. But
Princess...
still, I'm like, don't hurt fucking Momo.
Yeah, well, Midthunder talked about it. It's like, this is the moon gave me some power, and brought me here, and that's when my hair changed, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously, and that's why she was able to revigorate the moon spirit.
Yeah, that was a big gasp moment for Addie when Momo did the hero move.
Oh yeah, I lost my shit.
I bet you did.
No!
Yeah.
Their names are Twee and La. The moon spirit and the ocean spirit. Just a little thing. Like,
okay. Their name was
on.
Robert Paulson.
Yeah, that was. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
You could at least do that service.
Yeah.
And after watching the horrible Abomination movie, we get to see Aang as the ocean spirit. That was badass and perfect.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Because in the movie, he just did a wave and it was stupid.
All right.
Really? Oh no.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
So I watched. It was funny when you said that we were gonna do the Last Airbender for this cast. I was like, okay, I better watch this. I better get on this and watch this, right? So I watched like 7 episodes in one sitting, right? And I didn't watch the last one. I'm like, you know what? My family would my family would really dig this, right? So we watched it and we got through it, and we got through it before this podcast. But
nice.
I ended up watching the movie before I watched the last
the finale of the show,
the last episode, right? And so I got to see the 2 very different endings back to back, and I love the ending, like the ending of the movie where he does the big water wall, right? And like the Fire Nation captains were like, "Oh, a wall!
We gotta get the fuck out of here!"
Turn around, and then it's like literally a slow turn.
Oh no!
Back to Jersey.
Yeah, which is every ship captain knows you turn to broadside a wave.
Right?
Oh
Yeah. Oh
it's
man,
so
I just
bad.
it was so anticlimactic in a way. Like, I mean, obviously he's making this big old wave and everything, and it's really cool. But then like they just like, nope, we're out. That's it.
Peace.
Yeah, the water spirit thing was so cool to see, and it was just like, all right, let's, like at that point we're like, let's go, let's make this happen. And just him just laying waste to all the ships, I just thought was incredible.
Yeah, and like it looks perfect to the cartoon. Like,
oh yeah, okay,
I'm like, send it.
right. Nice.
Yeah, I'd say it's, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth because for what it was in the context of this season, it was pretty good. I mean, as far as the major story beats, the fact that they made Katara master, it's like, oh, now you're a master.
I have a lot of problems with Katara. Like they did my girl wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you were right on about watching that update. I think Midthunder did a great job as Yue. I was cool to see her in that. I prefer her as the prey version for Ember Midthunder. The waterbenders losing all their abilities with the death of the moon spirit was really cool. I didn't like the actual, like, apparently Aang can't move a bag very quickly. It's very slow, so Zhao can just knife the thingy. And I know that it needs to happen that way, but it's like, come on, guys, do it. Don't be so lazy. It has to be like he's trapped under something and can't do shit, instead of like I'm gonna slowly pick it up and just not move it. The exposition after Zuko kicks the shit out of Zhao too at the end was just like, God, guys, come on, this is so bad. But all that being said, I did love the special effects. But then on the flip side of that, like, they spent millions and millions of dollars on this show, and they saved most of it for the end, which I'm fine with, as far as all the CG and everything. But I don't know, overall I'm just kind of like, well, I don't even know what to score this season. Like, I don't think I could give it more than a C, like, compared to the original material. As a standalone, maybe a B.
Yeah,
but it's also just like a lot of it doesn't make sense because you don't get all of the character development and the exposition and
Mhm.
the lore and the history, like to what Joe sent us to watch Marisha's thing. Her whole point at the very beginning is that the Avatar is a legend,
Yeah.
and Katara knows about the legend, and that's it. Like they find the boy in the ice, nobody knows who the fuck he is. Like
Yeah.
it's
You
only
learn the
because
story
you
with
learn it,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
along exactly with everybody else.
Yeah. This they
So
just give you everything right out the gate.
right,
like,
exactly. So you don't have to earn it. It's not as
Sure.
satisfying at all because of that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think overall I enjoyed it, and Natty enjoyed it, but immediately afterwards she turned to me and was like, "We need to watch the animated series again." I was like, "Yep, 100%."
Yep, 100%.
Clean the taste of
Yeah,
this out of my
and
mouth.
Yeah.
so like overall, I think like they got the majority of it right, but that's like when you watch the animated series, you get all of the like
The
the
juicy bits.
tales, the stories, uh the lessons in
No.
the series of, just all these little episodes that are along the way that they kind of crammed into. Here's all the earth stuff and here's all the spirit stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like when you watch it you get that a little bit more throughout the way, and it's more impactful.
I love the critical response for the series because it's like Rotten Tomatoes has a 59% approval rating. Metacritic has a 56, which is obviously horrible. But then some of the reviews are bad, like Variety. While it wasn't as bad as the 2010 film, The Last Airbender, it will leave fans wishing the streamer had left the original masterpiece alone. And USA Today said the show was a corrupted facsimile of the original and claimed it's clear after 2 failed attempts to tell the story in live action, the greatness of Avatar was because of its animation, not in spite of it. Like,
Yeah.
yes, all
And
the notes.
Well, and
then there's the whole thing of like, just go watch the animated series.
Mhm.
right.
This is not bad. It's good. Like,
Yeah.
like
The animated series is on Netflix now too, right?
but yeah,
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
well,
is.
they're going to make
So,
a ton of money off that
there you go.
viewership
Right.
right there just
Yeah.
because of the series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my overall thing is like, don't hate this so much because we know what bad is. Watch
Right.
the movie. That's fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
Deadpool's fucking bad.
Yeah.
This is not great,
Yeah.
but like a perfect is the animated series.
Yeah.
If you
This is
want
a lumpy
perfect,
mattress.
just
You're not
fucking
sleeping
watch
on the
that.
floor. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Animated series is a badass water.
Watch this and enjoy it for what it is. You get to see live action, not terrible Avatar.
It'll be a good stepping stone to people rediscovering the animated series. So hopefully
We'll
we get
see
more
what
of that.
happens next season.
Yeah. I would be excited.
Toph. How are they going to do Toph?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of my all-time favorite characters.
We shall see.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hope that they do sort of, now that they know that they have these 2 seasons left, that they do sort of slow it down. They do take their time with it. And they do it justice. Cause yeah, I feel the same way as you guys, like, and I didn't even see the animated. I will, because that's after seeing this, it made us want to watch the animated series. But yeah, like I feel like this falls into sort of like a Resident Evil category. Like there hasn't been a great live action representation of Resident Evil. That to be fair, the Netflix series was probably the best version of a Resident Evil series that we've gotten, but then they canceled that right off the bat because we can't have nice things. But but yeah, I think that hopefully again, this is step 1. Hopefully steps 2 and 3 land much more solid and come together a lot better.
I'm really stoked that we've been granted an entire live action series of this story because I just want to see it. And even as terrible as the movie was, it was sad because I was like, you just showed us Azula at the very end of the movie, and then nothing. We get nothing because it's terrible and everybody hates it. And so now I'm just like, oh, can I please just see like Toph and May and Ty Lee go
Mhm.
badass, and the rest of this story in live action, as even if it's terrible, I just want to see it.
Yeah.
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 I think
'Cause-
something that might be fun is over the summer, maybe we pick do animated series, like a book a month across the summer, and kind of do our summer Avatar review or something like that. Cause it's really not a lot of TV to watch over a month.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Do the
I don't know,
Rum
it's
and
just
Regret
not-
book club.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it'd be fun just to get that done and prep of, whenever the next season comes out. Obviously, it'll be a while, but
No, for sure. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to say on this?
Not really.
No.
No.
No. All right. Well, what did you guys think of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix series? Let us know in the comments. You can find us on Facebook at the Rum and Regret Podcast, on X, formerly Twitter, at rum_regret. Nate, where can they find you?
Yeah, Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer on all the socials and your gaming platforms of choice.
Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials or at joechickadee.com.
You can find me at Chris Drake on Facebook, at Andrew Drake on Twitter, and until the next time, we have spoken.
Secret tunnel. Secret tunnel.
It's about exactly what you think it's about. Milk bending happens in the sacred tunnel.
Gross.
My cabbages!